Alrighty. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the BNR Racing Network here tonight as we take on Kansas. Alongside of me is Will. Good evening, Will. How's it going tonight?
Going fantastic this evening, Brian. Like you said, Kansas Motor Speedway this evening for these BNR trucks. Can't wait to see what type of a show these truckers are going to put on this evening here at this mile and a half D-shaped oval.
Yeah, I'm going to go over the race information real quick, and then we'll let Will take over and give you guys the awesome history behind Kansas. So I see here we're in Kansas City, Will. The current track temp is 91 degrees. It is a 1.5 mile track. The weather outside itself is 84 degrees Fahrenheit, 23% humidity. It is partly cloudy, Will, and a 20 mile per hour wind. It is 135 laps, which is 202.5 miles. Rounded up, about 203 miles. These truckers do get 80% fuel, 4 sets of tires, 1 quick fix, Will, and 3 attempts at a green-white checkered. So, Will, if you want to go ahead and run down the history about Kansas, the floor is yours, sir.
So, yes, indeed. Kansas Motor Speedway initially opened in 2001, this D-shaped configuration of the Kansas tri-oval here. Very D-shaped, just like Las Vegas, Kentucky, Nashville. Am I forgetting one? No, I do not believe I am. So the track is banked. It has progressive banking from 17 to 20 degrees of banking in the corners. The front stretch has 9 to 11 degrees of banking. The back straightaway has 5 degrees of banking. There is a road course configuration here with 2.3 miles of configuration. Scott Pruitt holds the race lap record for that configuration in the old Daytona prototype Riley. Going down to the early days here. So I can find it again. I just had it. Here we go. The early years of Kansas Motor Speedway. So ARCA was the first racing series to race here, June 2nd, 2001. Jason Jarrett, son of Dale Jarrett, won the first race held here. Then a few months later, followed by a month later, there was a doubleheader for the BNR Truck Series in the Indy Racing League. As we all know, if you're a purist NASCAR fan, Ricky Hendrick won the first truck race held here, and then Eddie Cheever won the next day, probably the same day. I think it was the next day. Anywho, so Jeff Gordon wins the inaugural Cup race here. Very, very good track. Normally has great racing. Used to be a fuel mileage race, Brian, back in the day. Tony Stewart, Greg Biffle, even I think Jeff Gordon won a race here on fuel mileage. Kevin Harvick. Stuart Friesen holds the truck record here, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm reading this right. So, who holds the truck record? But as we know, yes, indeed.
A nice stout field tonight, sir. 26.
Yes, 26 competitors here that during qualifying, some probably won't put down a qualifying lap, but a good portion of the field probably will. No, everybody did. 10-4. Love to see it. A lap of some kind.
Yeah. Well, I do believe these guys will be under the lights if I set it up the right way. So we shall see. Anyway, I'm going to go over the starting grid real fast. Anyway, starting P1 would be Will Roberts. P2 would be Brandon Moore. P3 would be Jaden Sanchez. P4 would be Gary Madu. P5 would be Tyler Myers. P6 would be Ernest King. P7 would be Ron Hunter. P8 would be Samuel Archibald. P9 would be Troy Daggett. P10 would be Chris Camary. P11 would be Chris Cornett. P12 would be Joe Stipe. P13 would be Justin Steves. P14 would be Joshua Highball. P15, awesome to see him out here to the BNR Truck Series. Old Dale Rat. P16 would be Anthony Lane. P17 would be Chris Campbell. P18 would be Pete Woodrum. P19 would be Daniel Lyle. P20 would be Brian Schwartz. P21 would be Robert Amaral. P22 would be Aaron Bradford. P23 would be Skylar Sixton. P24 would be J.D. O'Brien. P25 would be Matthew Hunsaker. And P26 will be Richard Johns. "26 fellow drivers here, Will, as everybody is gridded, getting ready to pull out of the pits as our camera will shoot down the middle to show you guys all the trucks as soon as they pull off here. We got our track map up here. Anyway, Will, 135 laps of excitement here tonight at Kansas. Should be a very good race, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yes, is this race going to come down to fuel mileage? Is this race going to come down to a caution fest at the end of the race, like we've seen some races just provide that type of entertaining finish? Some call it entertaining, some call it annoying. But, racing, that is what it is. You never can tell what it's going to play out, how it's going to be. It's almost like a football game, except, you don't have any dirty refs. But, 135 laps, like you talked about, might as well say 203 miles, rounded off to the nearest mile. Well, you could just say 200 miles if it was 130, 34, 100 and... Anyway, getting ready for the green flag. These drivers doubled up. The lights are out on the Chevy Silverado pace truck. They are coming to the green, Brian.
Yes, sir. The green flag is out as Will Roberts takes the field going into turns 1 and 2. As you can see here. As they head down the backstretch, headed into turns 3 and 4. Carrying a lot of momentum, Will. Don't know how slick the track is. We'll just have to wait and see.
Well, some drivers were saying how kind of tight it was, and it will for certainly be a tight track in tight conditions, especially in the pack, in the draft, in this dirty air. So you're not probably going to be able to be full throttle constantly in traffic, in the dirty air.
Do you know roughly, because I know you like to do your fellow pit reporter news, but how much fuel these BNR truckers are getting here tonight, Will?
Anywhere between 34 to maybe 40 laps, but 34 to 37, I believe. But you never can tell. We do have some that try to make it as far as they can go, so that's why I said 40 laps. But 34 to 37 roughly, Brian. That's why I said earlier, you never can tell if it'll come down to a fuel mileage race or just, you never know at the end of these things, because it is scheduled for 135 laps. And with how you have to, if you divide that up over the course of, 35 laps every so often, it's going to be a bit tricky. You never can tell, Brian.
Yes, sir, indeed there.
We had one truck up in the wall in the exit of turn 4 that lap.
That was Hunter, a teammate of Chris Camary and Troy Daggett.
Yes, that's their third stablemate at the moment.
See here, Tyler Myers
it's very
the 2008 Lucas Oil Truck Will here tonight at Kansas with Chris Camary behind him and his teammate behind him, which is Ron Hunter. So
it's very easy to let your vehicle go to the wall on corner exit here, because just like almost at any other oval configuration track, that's where the racing line goes, and you see some trucks already venturing up to the wall to get the best run possible off corner exit. You're going to be able to wrap that momentum a lot better up on that high side. That's normally the dominant line around here at Kansas. You do see a lot of bottom feeders here, but it's predominantly a high line track.
yes, sir, it is.
So you have somewhat teammates with Roberts and Ernie up in first and second. Sanchez in third. 3-truck breakaway for a moment. Then a little bit further back is Troy Daggett in fourth position. Then Maydew in the 63 in fifth. Chris Cornett is sixth. Brandon Moore currently trying to get around. Oh, he did get around Myers, so yes, indeed. Myers in eighth position, same as his truck number. He's got Chris Camary all over the back of him, and Chris Camary's teammate Hunter in the 30 rounds out the top 10. But that's not to say that they are not fiercely battling. You have Highball in the 41. I believe that's how you pronounce Josh's name there. He's battling with Archibald. That is just outside the top 10 for 11th and 12th position.
Yes, that is.
12th and 13th position going at it, as Archibald able to kind of shake those guys off and setting his sights on a top 10 position.
See there, Dale Rath with Brian Schwartz right behind him, as Dale is running the middle to high lane, Will, trying to find some type of clean air to get that momentum up there and at least try to run in P13 or P14 at the moment. So have to keep our close eye on him. I know he got around Kansas pretty well. He was always pretty good at Kansas, shall I say. So.
Old Wonder was always one to watch out for whenever it came to a mile and a half, or really anywhere in particular, because he was going to be battling somebody all night long, that's for sure. Only 10 laps in here, and the laps are kind of ticking by. It'll do that here at Kansas if you can just get them to stay green. So 10 laps in. And like I said, not too much has changed from the top 10. Camary and Archibald are now battling for 10th, but I believe Archie might have got the best of Camary. No, they're still side by side, but now he gets by. And 11th and 11th and 12th, I'll spit it out eventually, going at it right behind them. So comers and goers in the early days here at Kansas in the Truck Series.
Yep, I think that wind's having a lot to do coming off the turns. Maybe it's giving it that extra oomph.
How windy is it?
Well, it was during the start of qualifying, it was 20 miles per hour.
Goodness gracious, yes indeed. That is some high winds for a race truck to try to navigate.
You see there, Sanchez gets on by Daggett. So Richard John started 25th, now up to P16. So one of the biggest movers there.
Yeah, Jaden and Troy, they're having a battle for third and fourth at the moment. But there's so many battles all throughout the field, you know, it's kind of hard to look at which one you want to actually keep your eye on, Brian. So Troy and Jaden battling. They are falling back off of the pace of Ernie as they're side by side. That's going to happen whenever you battle. You're going to lose a little bit of time.
Yes, sir, indeed. You see Daggett trying everything in his God Almighty to try to find a line that can carry that momentum to get up to the back of King, but just nothing seems to be pulling him closer to them. So, oh boy,
Archie got up in the wall and almost trouble for everybody trying to navigate by. We keep saying how it's going to be a great day once Archie can be able to fully get a race under him and not have be a mistake-free race, right, Brian? And doesn't look like that's going to be tonight.
No, sir.
But we're still early, only 16 laps in. I could be proved wrong.
Yes, sir. We both can. So.
It's just such a troublesome spot, coming up off the corner exits here. Like we talked about, the truck just wants to float up the track, keep walking up the track on the progression of the exit. Oh, there I go again with progression. But yeah, you see right here, this camera angle works so well to what I'm trying to explain. So
you see there, Richard gets on by Dale. Will, as Dale was to the outside, jumped in front of Sammy, but that allowed Richard to gain a spot. Richard looking to take P12 away from Hunter as he's going to run the bottom lane here. As we saw last season, Will, Richard was very consistent.
Very great around Kansas, yes.
On the bottom lane. That's where he made most of his passes at. So he's another one to keep an eye on. So.
And this is a battle for 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th.
That's it.
So, yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, unless you want to count Chris is right there.
Yeah, I was going to say, right behind Dale is some guys trying to get their hooks into Dale and, be a part of this great battle just outside the top 10. So you would have 16th, 17th, 18th right behind Dale here. Like we talked about, Christopher Campbell closing the gap, and then right behind him is Schwartz, and you got Joe Stipe, Skylar Sixton. So everywhere we turn to, yes, go ahead.
I would say Skylar rocking that super color there. That's a pretty unique paint scheme. So. Oh, Schwartz is in the wall.
Oh. Schwartz, or was that Samuel?
Both of them.
Oh, okay. Might have to get a replay in just a quick second if we can, see what transpired.
Let's see if I can try to find it.
They were running kind of fairly close together, I do believe.
Yeah.
Could have been like a synchronized, one hit.
Archibald's in the pits.
Oh, there's only so many times you can smack the right side of your truck with the wall, Brian, and until it just becomes just unruly. So
I want to say maybe right here. Just tight. Keeps her in the wall there. Doesn't make sure nobody hits him. A good move by Sammy there, so. Well, that was just a case of a tight truck on the outside getting into the wall, Will. So,
Yes, indeed.
uh,
23 laps into this race, and Robert's still your race leader with Ernie in second still. They have, might as well say, 5/10 of a second to a second gap back to Daggett. Jaden falling back a little bit. He's almost into the clutches of Brandon.
yes, he is.
That is the top five, even though Brandon might have lost a tenth or two there. So Brandon actually might be falling into the clutches of Maydew. Back again, I think he just passed Maydew, but the battle rages on for 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, just a little bit further back, so.
There's battles throughout the...
And like I said, we got one for 9th and 10th. You got one a little bit further back, 11th, 12th going on between Hunter and Johns.
Yep. But you see here, Will, Dale Rapp, aka Wonder, is trying to find the lane. We see him moving all around the track to try to figure out where he can gain some time, or maybe get in that wake there to pull him closer. You see there, Chris on the outside, Richard's on the bottom, but I don't know if he has enough toe there to get him at least up to Chris, but maybe right there that will help. I think Chris did get a little bit loose, Will. You see there, we do have a lead change, as Ernest King will take the lead from his teammate, but Daggett is saying, yes, boys, you boys keep running side by side. That is getting me closer to you guys. So Christopher Campbell there, P14, looking to take P13 away from Chris as they complete lap 29. You see there, Sammy is now back in the pits. "30 laps complete. Almost closing in. Oh, we got a pass for second there. Almost. But almost coming to green flag pit stops, Will. See here, Richard Johns looking to take P10 away from Hunter whenever he can get there, as Dale Rapp is following Mr. Johns around the track, and they are fixing to pass little by little. So you see there, the 88 is in the wall, as Richard Johns is going to get by the 88. Dale Rapp is also going to pass the 88, so that'll put Dale Rapp in P11. Richard Johns moves up to P10.
pretty tough field here tonight as far as like trying to progress, trying to make passes. Kansas can be a tough track, can be a tough mile and a half to make a pass on. Maydew out of the race. Not sure what happened to Maydew,
I noticed,
but he is out of the race.
Dan Lyle it said that he did crash, so we're going to take a look here. Oh, maybe trying to...
Oh, he's in a little Debbie truck.
Oh, he was just trying to get into the pits. So, yep. So he's becoming one lap down up here with the traffic. As now Will Roberts is in the pit, so Daggett will take the lead away. So just as you said, 35 to about 40 laps is when we'll start seeing some green flag pit stops, Will.
Yeah, roughly around, a lap or two from now, maybe a few more laps from now. But yeah, we are in that pit window. That is correct. Should start seeing those pit stops happening any moment now.
You see there, Troy Daggett. So
our race leader, Will Roberts, already in the pits.
Yep. You see Richard Johns moves up to P7 as these drivers are starting to make their pit stops. You see Brandon Moore gets on by Ernest King. Ernest King is going to make his pit stop. Oh boy. Everybody coming down to the pits. So others are just staying out. Oh, it looked like the 30 did get in the wall a little bit. I do believe Dale is... Yep. It's coming in. They're going to make their pit stop. So green flag pit stops underway. You see here Brandon Moore cycling out to the top. Tyler Myers, Hunter Camary, Bradford, Steve, Hunsick, and Schwartz did not pit. You see there Tyler Myers is now in the pit. Sanchez. Matthews now going in. Oh, it looks like Chris missed the pit entrance there, as we've seen him circle back around to try not to get a unsafe pit entry. That can be tough, Will, going high speeds as fast as you're going. So Justin Steves, somebody would slow that in. Justin Steves, Aaron Bradford still stay out. Something happened to Bradford there. Oh, he's out of gas.
Well, that's what we talked about, running your truck dry. You don't necessarily want to do that. And, we talked about the pit window, about what it could and could not be and what it actually was. So that's a tough heartbreak for Bradford. Bradford would surely need some type of caution quickly, but Roberts is going to cycle back out as the race leader. He pitted a few laps before everybody else started to pit. So he's going to be able to extend his lead uh, to what he had before the pit cycle started. But that means that some of these drivers that pitted later do have fresher tires, but now we just see that gap is tremendously huge now over Roberts back to Ernie, Brandon Moore. That's 10-second separation to third and fourth. Troy Daggett has 4 seconds in second place to Will. So Tyler Myers rounds out the top 5. I wonder if Jaden had a speeding penalty.
Might have.
As that seems to sometimes be the case when we have these green flag pit stops, and he's running in or about the top 5 or the top 3, and then after the cycle ends, he's no longer up on the top of the totem pole. He's down yonder. So that for sure might be the case. He might be stuck a lap down for the remainder of this race because of just how difficult, once you're in a long green flag cycle, and you may have 1 or 2 different cycles of pit stops, Brian, and you have a penalty of some kind, you get trapped a lap down, and there's other drivers already a lap down per se. It's going to be difficult to work that back. We already have under 100 to go. We have, what is that, closing in on, do the math, Willie, 90 to go. So.
Yes. Anyway, well, next week, it's going to be a doozy, that's for sure. On Tuesday is North Wilkesboro. So, yes, I'm just going to say that. See there, the 41.
North Wilkesboro,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, we've seen in the past North Wilkesboro can be a real good race, and then sometimes it just turns out to be a doozy of a race with the amount of cautions you can have. It almost turns itself into a Martinsville proceeding, but just depends on how the trucks are able to fare next week at North Wilkesboro, like you talked about.
See there, JD in that 11, getting on by Cornette. Fixing it, he took the P12 away from him. Now looking to take P11 away from Highball. So, .47 laps in.
.47 laps in, and we're looking about around lap 69 to 72 for green flag pit stops to commence again for the second round of pit stops. If it stays green from here on out, if we do the math and all.
Boy, Facebook Live is on point. As soon as I put everything up, boom, it goes. But as you see here, Will, they started off with about 90-something degrees in qualifying. The track temp now is 84 degrees, and the wind dropped down to 16. So it's trying to get a little cooler out in temps. We did start off, I want to say, maybe 84. I think so. So Will Roberts still has almost, about a 5-second lead over Troy. So, Yes, once
Yeah,
the
through
car.
this cycle.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, sir. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, yes, once this cycle of pit stops really cycled out, Roberts really got some speed, gained some speed with that fresh set of tires. He was the first one of all the lead lappers, to my knowledge, to make a pit stop. Campbell up in the wall and corner exit out of 4 the lap prior, so he's currently in the top 10. Campbell is, so trying to keep JD and Highball at bay. I feel like I raced with Highball. I just can't remember his gamer tag if I did. That last name sounds very familiar. But
It might be him. We don't know.
yeah, like I said, I can't. I remember a Jim Highball. Anyway.
You're probably thinking of Hallball. Because he was the coach of the Michigan Wolverines.
Oh, okay.
So when these guys, again, start the pit, we'll say roughly around 68 to 72. Maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
As you said, roughly about 30, 35.
34, yeah, 33, 35. We saw Bradford tried to make it 30, what was it, 38, 39. He ran out of gas, so.
Yeah, because I saw a slow truck down the backstretch where the pit exit is. I'm like, I'm looking. And then I just see Bradford drop like a rock. I'm like, oh. I said, yeah, he probably... Oh,
that's going to be a doozy. Is that going to be a caution, though? They are completely off the racing surface. That's Joe Stipe and Matthew Hunsaker. Looks like they're going to be able to get back going without a hitch.
Yep, no caution.
But that's going to cost Joe a lot of time. They were riding in I want to say 13th and 14th positions before they made contact. But that's going to put Joe a lap down. I was about to say Chris Camary is in danger of going a lap down, but he's got still a few seconds to go before anybody gets to him. We got a replay here of what transpired. Joe's really working the outside lane. What happens? And just Matthew coming up. He thought he was clear, possibly. Oh, no, that's still another lap to go before we get to the incident.
I think it's coming at it, too.
Yes.
I think it's right here. Yeah, it looked like Matt was trying to get up the side draft a little bit, and then maybe had a little coming together with Joe. So
that's exactly what it looks like.
Well, very unfortunate for Joe, because now he suffers going a lap down. So 58, a 135 complete, Will. The field is so spread out between everybody.
Does have decent separation throughout the field. Not really too many hard battles going on. I think 11th and 12th is a good battle at the moment, but other than that, not really too much to write home about at this moment in time.
I tell you what, who made good ground was Richard and Dale. Once they got up there, they hit their marks. They hit their marks on the pit, as we see there. Campbell in the wall. Very unfortunate for Campbell, but
I was about to say Campbell was closing in on Sigston, but
Yep, end up getting sucked
Oh, he
into
just
that
got a
cut.
bit too hot. Yeah, he just got a bit. I don't know if he got tight behind Sixton, but yeah, he got, as you say, he just got kind of pulled into the wall on corner entry of 3. So that's so easy to do, being behind another truck. You almost get your line a bit askew going into the corner.
Uh-oh. Something had happened here with Tyler Myers. Oh!
Oh, that is a big happening. Him and Lane. That is Lane, right?
Lyle.
Lyle. My apologies, Lyle. Yep, Lyle just a bit loose. Just a bit loose on corner exit. Possibly the back end just wanted to sweep around on him, and unfortunately, Tyler Myers happens to be the innocent bystander in that.
Yep. Well, that's kind of like Joe. Unfortunately, had that coming together with Matthew. So, but anyway, as I was saying before, Will, Richard, Johns, and Dale, once they got up there to that top 5 through the top 10, they just haven't left it. Which comes with hit your marks, getting on the pits, stopping in the box, not overshooting your pit box, and then pulling off out of the pits. So, and that's right where they tend to stay at the moment. So, I guess we'll see next time by in the pits, though. You see there, Christopher Campbell will now getting back up to the 30 of Ron Hunter. Oh, as the 30 hits the wall in front of Chris, causes Chris to check up a slight tad bit. I see here JD looking to get on by Skylar Sixton for that P9.
Yeah, Skyler and O'Brien having a good battle there. They have Hunter and Campbell. Campbell recovering from trying to drag the wall down a little bit, so he didn't lose too much time or ground over what he was. He was inside the top 10 when he did that. He only fell 2 positions, so
the way that
looks
this
like
race is turning out, well, I do believe it is going to be a strategy race.
Chris Cornett in danger of going a lap down.
You see here, Christopher Campbell got on by JD. Now as Campbell looking to get by that 30 machine of Hunter there for the top 10. Back again to get back up there, Will, and race with Skyler. I guess he found some momentum down there on the bottom, Will. As you see him, gets a good arc into entry, straddling that white line. Makes a little contact with it, but oh, that was about ugly.
Very fierce, hard racing going on for just trying to crack inside the top 10 of positions here. So 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. And that is what the positions are going on at stake at the moment. This is one of the closest battles on track too, so 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th here.
They are halfway now, so oh no. Good save, good save.
Oh, no. Yeah, excellent save. I thought it was still happening. I thought they were still trying to wreck for sure, but
Great save by
oh
these
so
guys.
tough. Excellent save. They just Chris Cornett got put a lap down, so now Camary. Cornett bringing his 88 machine into the pits. So yes, pit stop's happening now at lap 69, like we predicted. We should be a full-time crew chief instead of being in the booth. But
yeah, we were roughly around that mark.
yep, I first said 69, you said 68, so I win. You know, Robert's up there leading in the 40 machine. He's really been doing a terrific job maintaining the gap, keeping it at the same distance it's been since he came out of pit road with the fresh tires.
Speaking of him, he's pitting out.
That's about where I'd expect him to pit, would be lap 70, because he pitted right on the money at 35, I do believe. So,
Will, after these green flag pit stops happen, we'll go to our favorite section of the night. They are way over halfway now, so it's a miracle.
well, it's something to see great long green flag running in a race. You hate to see the terrible towels when they do wave, but if you're a Steelers fan, you love to see them. But
you see there, Brandon Morwell now cycles back up to the front as Troy Daggett pits. Ernie King P2, Richard Johns, once he gets on by him, he will be P3. So now listen, Tom Bradford, I would not want to run out of fuel again. Because that's what hurt him. You see there, Ernest King now in the pits. Daggett with a 14.5-second pit stop. Others are doing 14.7, 14.8. So right now, Daggett has the fastest stop at the moment.
and once we get to about lap 75, 76, this fuel window should be cycled out for the second time of asking.
Ernie King with a 15-second. Sixton with a 14.9. Campbell with a 14.9. Joe Stight with a 19.1, maybe fixing a little bit of extra damage there.
Roberts and everybody else needs one more pit stop, because when Will pitted, that was 65 laps to go in the race.
Highball with a 15.6, so he might have did a little slippy through. So Richard Johns with a 15.5. You see there, Brandon Moore now in the pits. Woodrum with a 15.3. Oof. Well, I tell you what, getting on pit road there was sketchy. Robert Amaral with a 14.9. Dale Rapp with a 16.6. Costly mistakes. Brandon Moore with a 19.8. O'Brien with a 14.7. Good stop for him, Will. Myers with a 15.3, Hunsaker with a 14.7. I think Robert Amaral might have had a speeding penalty, Will, because he is back in the pits.
That is a good possibility. If you're bringing it back down for a second time of asking in consecutive fashion, then you probably did have some type of penalty, like you say, normally speeding. Truck's currently on the lead lap, 30 and a half seconds back to Brandon Moore, Brandon Moore, one of the trucks with Freshie of the freshest tires on board his machine, so he should be able to drive that gap away. So Will Roberts, Troy Daggett, Ernie King, Richard Johns, and Brandon Moore round out the top 5 of lead lap truckers. Chris Cornett, Del Rapp, Pete Woodrum, Skylar Sixton, and Tyler Myers. I don't know why I was going to call him Chris Myers, Skylar Myers. I was going to call him everything else but his name. Christopher Campbell in 11th place, J.D. O'Brien in 12th.
I do believe that is the leader right there in front of Wonder. So Wonder can get caught back up to him, pass him. He will be back on the lead lap. Wow. From 6th to 18th is all 1 lap down. Anyway, Will, it looks like everybody has made their scheduled pit stop. So, oh no, wow. Good catch. We will go to
So everybody with a good catch
of the night. We'll let these guys listen to the sounds of these truckers turning laps, high-paced laps around Kansas. So there you guys go. Enjoy.
Well, 45 laps to go, Brian. Still caution free. We've had a couple of incidences, but nothing too severe, I would have to say.
Yes, sir, indeed. Look at this scuffle here. This is P2 caught in this lap traffic here, Will.
Lap traffic, but it is a battle raging on for position. This is 10th, 11th, and 12th. It may be a lap, it may be some lappery going on, but it's still a raging battle. Troy Daggett second place, trying to find a way by the raging battle for a spot inside the top 10. But it is just difficult. The 13th place, 41 of Highball is right there.
"92 laps, caution free." There's still plenty of laps to go. So.
Yes, and Will Roberts able to extend his lead to 6 seconds over Troy. Just opened it up for about another 2 seconds after that exchange of pit stops.
You see Hunsaker in the pits. I wonder if...
That's unscheduled.
Yeah.
I would have to think it is. I don't... He could be on a different strategy than everybody. If he is, that's fantastic. I would try to want to be on a different strategy than everybody myself, but I still think that's a bit wee early to... Like I was saying earlier, Brian, everybody owes us at least one more pit stop, and that should be coming anywhere between lap probably 99 to 105, somewhere in that ballpark. More than likely, though, 10 anywhere between lap 100.
What a save!
Yes, what a terrific save by both of those competitors, Chris Cornett and Josh Highball.
That was for 13th and 14th, Will.
Hopefully Josh isn't getting too upset that I'm mispronouncing his name a wee bit. I'm not putting the G in there, I feel like, but that's okay.
Now,
sometimes the G just...
will take P14 away from Cornett.
Yes, those drivers were battling for 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th positions, so... Yeah, about lap 100 to 108, 109 should be when we see the final pit stop sequence play out. Maybe even go as far as saying 113 should be when we see it finally play out.
Yeah, I agree.
I think 113 might be pushing it though.
8 drivers on the lead lap after a couple of them did get on by Will Roberts.
Yeah, a couple of these guys have the freshest of freshest tires. You know, Myers, I want to say Woodrum.
Rat.
We know Brandon Moore. Yep, Rep. So a few of the guys that, from Brandon Moore on down to Tyler, even maybe go as far as say Skyler, have fresh tires.
Richard Johns with a P5. I noticed he was able to P5 before the run after a cycle of pit stops there. Lap 99. Hey, Lawson. How's it going, sir? Nice of you to come out and tune in. Caution free at the moment. So, well, 35 laps to go.
Yes, indeed. We've hit the 35 lap to go mark, and quite possibly might start to see Will Roberts down into the pits around lap 105, maybe.
Hey, possibility. Boy, the truck's going by. Shook the camera a little bit. A little effect. The wonderful cameras of iRacing.
I actually don't think 113 might be too far. Either 105 pit stops for the final time between 105 to maybe 116, Brian.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. That is
Somewhere.
much appreciated, Paul. We appreciate it absolutely. Bring you the best commentary. Sit back and enjoy the clowns out here on the track. They're not very hard driving, competitive driving. Enjoy doing what they're doing. So, you know, sometimes races could go wrong. Sometimes we can have a great race like we see here tonight, where it's a strategy on strategy race. So anyway, we'll come to take lap 104 as Will Roberts crosses the line. You see Troy Daggett will almost 8 seconds back from Will. Ernie King having a great solid top 3 truck here tonight. But Brandon Moore is about roughly 9 to 10 seconds back from him. And then maybe 11 and a half to 12 seconds back to Richards. So it's going to be interesting to see who pulls the strategy. Who pits a lot earlier than the next. So you see there Chris Cornett now in the pits for his scheduled pit distance. You see Brandon Moore. Oh, as we were saying, well, who comes in a little bit earlier? And that happens to be Brandon Moore. JD Troy's in the pits. This is going to get interesting, that is for sure. Ernest King is in the pits. Brandon Moore with 11.6 second pit stop. More followers dive down into the pits. Will Roberts down there. JD with a 14.9. Daggett with a 15.1. So you see Tyler Myers now pulling into the pits. Highball with a 14.8 second. Ernest King with a 15.9. Richard Johns now in the pits. Dale is now in the pits. So pit road's going to be a little bit busy these next couple of laps here. Well, you see there Pete Woodrum goes up to the front on top of Skylar 16. But Will Roberts still is only... Oh, alright, well... He's right there. with Chris here. I do believe Chris Camary is going to make his pit stop. Yes, he is. So Will Roberts, 7 seconds back, but gaining a lot. So, but yet again, those are drivers that hit it on the freshest of freshes. So.
And we still have just a couple of drivers still yet to pit, like you talked about, Brian. So.
JP, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you feel a lot better, man. Sucks that you couldn't be here. So wish you speedy recovery too as well. Caution free, so.
About to be 30 laps to go here at Kansas this evening with a caution-free race like we keep harping about.
Anyway,
love to see
Skyler
it.
16 now in the pits. Oh, the door would always be open for you, Paul, for sure. But we love everybody to come back. Well, 25 laps to go. Whoa, Nelly! Ernest King with a slide job and a half. Peter, nice to see you. I know you want to get into the iRacing shindig here. Always good to watch a couple of the races here. See how it turns out before you determine your fate of moving over to iRacing and getting off a concert. So. Yes, JP, next week you guys will be at North Wilkesboro. Unfortunately, that's a tough track to come back to, so. Anyway, we're coming on 23 laps to go.
Yes, indeed, this race has been dominated by Roberts here this evening, except for when he had to make some pit stops. You know, it cycles out. Other people get the lead, but pretty much it's been the 40 domination.
Of you. Well,
right? I didn't know I was doing both.
Uh-oh. Somebody's down there on the bottom.
Who knew I had so many twin brothers out there? You know, we just saw Will Roberts last night.
Campbell's out of gas.
Oh no, that's a heartbreak for Campbell, who was trying to have at least a top 15 run.
That's gonna hurt.
So Roberts has a 7.5 second lead over Troy. Justin somehow in third position at the moment. Ernie in fourth. Brandon Moore in fifth. Rounds out the top five. Richard Johns in sixth. Okay, good. Yeah, good point. And Del Wonder Rap in seventh position. He is currently the first automobile, 1 lap down. Tyler Myers is 8th, 1 lap down. J.D. O'Brien is 9th, 1 lap down. And Chris Cornett is 10th, 1 lap down.
Yeah,
Justin,
Peter, I'm sorry, well, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Justin making his final pit stop of the night. That will cycle some trucks back a little bit further up the totem pole.
Yeah. Anyway, Peter, maybe like a Logitech or a Thrustmaster would be your first go-to, just to get the feel. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that still do use controller, but I wouldn't do it. Trust me. Because it can be tough. Also, the other hard part is earning your way through the ranks. By starting in the rookie class, which is your street stocks. And then your D class, which is now the SRX, ARCA, Gen 4s. And your C class are these fellas right here. And once you hit C class, that's when you start getting all your caution races. So any C class event, C class all the way up to A class is when you'll get your caution event.
And caution events only happen on the ovals, no cautions unless you were in a hosted situation, race control situation on a road course. Other than that, no cautions at road courses. So as far as I know, right, you can forcibly throw a caution on a road course, yes. So.
Yeah, that would be the only way, is to throw it yourself.
Yes. Right, so, but...
Well, it's kind of like us, Will. If a section of the track is blocked to where nobody can get by, we'll throw it. So, for an example, Charlotte, it's phenomenal for it. Going into the first turn, going around the bend there, and if that is blocked, we'll throw it. So,
we need to think about doing a race here in the Roval configuration at Kansas if we can. We've talked about it.
Yeah, we'll just have to either get a set built or find a set that will work.
Right.
Well, just like these guys
I think it would be...
are going to Villeneuve.
Yes.
But it might be the Cup Cars, I think. I don't think it's the Cup. I can't remember. So we finessed a little bit. We found a set that, kind of works good. We did a lot of fine-tuning, so the magic that we have with iRacing. Hell, if we wanted to, we could put these truckers out there on Spa if we wanted to.
Yeah, that'd be one heck of a race. See everybody try to manage Arnage.
Because I know a few of these drivers are now starting to do a lot of the GT3, GT4 type of races now. They're starting to better themselves for when we take on a little bit more road courses. So that's a good thing. That's not bad. That's a good thing. So I've been doing a few here and there. Whenever I get the free time and not too busy playing baseball or another thing, but 4 drivers on the lead lap, Will, 12 laps to go. Will Roberts is still your leader, dominant truck there tonight. Troy Daggett in second, Ernest King in third, and Brandon Moore is the last truck on the lead lap, sitting at P4, Will. When I was talking to him earlier on, I believe you were in there, he said the speed was an issue. He couldn't find the speed. Which, some races do go like that.
Yes, unfortunately they do. Not every race you're going to be able to find the best racing line possible that suits you, or the fastest line possible, or, you're just going to be slow sometimes, slower than normal. So that's just the way she goes. That's racing.
10 laps to go, not a single daggone caution. 135 laps would be all green if they can keep it green. Well, overall, I would say a very good race so far.
Fantastic race.
Like I said, I know these drivers are capable to do it. Next week,
this is what happens.
We might have quite a few, though, I'm going to have to say.
Oh, yeah. North Wilkesboro will probably have at least 10.
Yeah, because I think that's what it was last year, but it's a short track.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Hey, they could prove us wrong.
Yeah, they could. We could go back-to-back week caution-free. That would be very insane, but 10 laps to go. Will Roberts, like we've already documented, has dominated this race. Troy Daggett has been either in second, third, or fourth all race long. He's not really dropped outside the top five. Ernie, he's been in the same boat, either second or third all race long. Brandon, once he's got inside the top five, he's not really left it except for exchanging pit cycles. So Richard Johns and I wonder how close that battle could be for fifth and sixth position.
Dale's right there. As we go here and oh no, we ain't doing that. Oh, that's the wrong camera. Right on board with Dale. Okay, there's the gap between him and Richard. That's Richard right there in front of me. Coming to the 8 laps to go mark.
7.
Oh, fixing it, 7. Right now. 7 to go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good point.
But as you watch on board here of Dale Rapp, that's Richard right there. You see a strong check up there. I wonder if Richard's going to get in the outside lane.
Which Richard's been running that bottom lane pretty much all night long, Brian, so I don't see Myers anywhere. I just see some more lappery. We have Robert Amaro right here behind Dale. Oh, but here comes Myers. He's sledding up here. He can see these guys battling for fifth position as Dale takes fifth position away from Richard. So
5 laps to go, Will.
Been an outstanding race, caution-free. We've seen a lot of great battling. We've seen a few hiccups here and there. We've seen some mistakes, but other than that, fantastic race. Got to give a shout-out to every driver that has started this race, whether you're out, whether you're 4 laps down, whether you're in the lead. You know, thanks for coming out, being a part of this race tonight.
Yes, I agree with you. Very impressed. But back-to-back top 10s at Kansas. I shall say back-to-back Kansas where Richard Johns finishes in the top 10. So last season he did. Finished 5th. So you see here Jaden on the back of that 88 machine as the 4 of Lyle down there. Uh-oh. As the 88 blinks in front of Jaden. And then it panned away.
So Will Roberts lead down to about 6.5 seconds. Troy's found some type of speed to be able to run down a little bit of the gap, but it's not going to be enough time nor gap to be eliminated. So
2 laps to go, Will.
Roberts with a comfortable over 6-second lead here over Daggett. We only have 4 trucks completely on the lead lap. Ernie and Brandon Moore.
As we watch Will here come around a final turn to take the white flag this time by.
Outstanding performance by Will this evening. Like I said, just utter domination when he was not having to bring that truck down to fill up, you know, the digital Sunoco fuel, put some tires on it, what have you. As the battle rages on in a bit for 5th position, Richard trying to get back to Dale but can't quite get there. He's got a couple of trucks in the way.
take the fifth
Yeah, Will, indeed. So, victory for Will, and Wonder gets 5th position, and Richard gets 6th overall there this evening.
Good race. Very good race.
Looks like Daggett's going to get 2nd. Ernie is going to get 3rd. That's going to round out the podium. Brandon Moore brings it home in 4th. Tyler Myers in 7th. Pete Woodrum in 8th position. J.D. O'Brien brings it home in the top 10. And Justin Steeves gets a top 10 in 10th position.
Very good race, I must say.
Fireworks again. Love to see it.
Yeah.
I don't believe this is Wonder's first time with you guys. It might be. Oh, okay. Well, debut appearance in the BNR Truck Series for Dale, and it's a top 5. So, golf clap or round of applause or something to that effect at least.
Yeah.
I know Will's been here before.
Yeah. We'll straggle up our podium finishers here. Anyway, we'll go ahead and pull Ernie up. Ernest King.
What's up, fellas?
What a awesome race you had.
What an awesome race everybody had. Cost free, just unbelievable. A lot of fun. Enjoyed it. Better than last week, that's for sure. For me, anyway, personally.
Yeah.
From the drop of the green flag, you guys just were pretty racy, and it seemed to have be that way till basically the first pit stop, and then pit stops are always the great equalizer, Ernie, and that really spread out the field for the most part, and from that point on, you guys were almost playing a cat and mouse game, trying to get back to one another to battle, right? So just tell us about how it was before the first pit stop, and then after that, how much of a challenge it was to try to make back up the time lost after, everybody's got different points that they hit and miss getting in and out of pit road and getting back up to speed, right? So losing and gaining all that time here and there.
Yeah, the first run was really good. Me, Will, and Troy kind of just all three kind of worked our way into a nice little cushion on everybody else. Truck felt really good. And the long run, I guess maybe after like 15 laps, it really, my truck anyway, I don't know what everybody else's was, but it was no good at all on the low side. So that first one was really good. I slid through my pit box by, like a fraction of an inch, and I had to back up. So that's where I lost all that ground, and it's tough to make it up when it goes green. But all in all, it was a good race. Will was in another zip code today. In practice, we worked on the line and then our changes that we made together, and I was pretty competitive with him in that first run. But once I lost the time, I overdrove it. You know how race car drivers do. We get in there and we're trying to make up the ground that we lost, and I just burnt the rubber off of them on that second run.
Yes, indeed. Like you said, burning up the tires is such an easy thing to do whenever you're trying to focus, gain back the time you lose, or you're just trying to battle back. But you never really dropped out of the top 4, I don't think, or top 3 really. You were really strong. You were riding behind Will. I don't think you were wanting to pass him, so to speak. You were just riding behind him to start off the stint. And then, like we talked about, Will did such a great job with his in and out lap. It looked like he gained so much time on everybody that way. But North Wilkesboro next week, Ernie, what's the thought and preparation mindset going into North Wilkesboro for you?
No penalties this week, so I don't have to do a pass through. So we'll do the same thing. I'll come back. I have a couple more races, and then I'll be moving. So I think I'll have to be using my provisional here, and then maybe miss one more race after North Wilkesboro. So I think I positioned myself in the points okay. It's tough to make that stuff up, but it's another fun track for me. I like it. It's unique, and we'll go rip up another one.
Well, best of luck to you with the moving endeavors, safe travels, and all. Thanks for talking to us tonight, Ernie. Best of luck to you next week. Congratulations on the strong run. Great podium finish here tonight at Kansas. Final thoughts, shout-outs, anything else you'd like to add for tonight's event?
You guys for putting on the show. The field, tremendous race. What an awesome race. That's good when you can go through a whole race and not have any yellows. My fiance Stephanie, she's in South Carolina right now, getting everything ready and tidy, and I'm up here doing this, and I'll see you in a little bit, honey, and you guys have a good night.
Oh boy, you're gonna be a lot closer than me. Oh God.
And Will, what a dominant position. I mean, Race, he's not really a teammate in this league, but as you guys know, he is kind of a teammate to me, but affiliated teammate. So awesome run by him, man. I wouldn't have had anything for him whatsoever. Well, have a good night, guys, and I'll see you at North Wilkesboro.
Yes, sir.
Good night, Ernie.
Next up. Troy.
How's it going, guys?
It's going pretty good.
Oh. Yeah, pretty good. How about yourself there, Troy, after just, 135 laps at Kansas caution-free?
Oh, that was great to be caution-free. It was a lot of fun. Strategy, getting on pit road was the key on this race.
Yeah, it didn't kind of work out too good for your teammate, Chris.
No, Chris or Ron, they had trouble getting on and off pit road. I think speeding and stuff like that. So
Oof.
I managed to not do that and come home second. So
yeah, how kind of difficult was it in the early days of the race, being in the traffic, being in the dirty air, trying to get up there and battle for the lead or battle for a podium position, Troy, and then the pit stops really equalized everybody out. Some lost a lot of time, some gained a lot of time, some gained some positions, some lost a lot of positions.
yeah, qualified eighth wasn't or ninth wasn't the best, but yeah, I worked my way up through the field. The dirty air was a little rough. I mean, I was running up in third spot up until that first pit cycle. I thought I was gonna get up there and run pretty easy, but once we kind of stalled out and started running different lines, high lines, low lines, you just couldn't gain anything on the track. But yeah, like I said, the main thing was hitting your pit road speed. Don't speed. Don't miss your box. Don't slide through it. That was the main thing. That's when you lost a lot of time. Like that first pit stop, I came out like 4 seconds behind William, and I could never get back. The next stop, I think he gapped me again. So, but to manage only 7 seconds behind the leader after only 4 cars on a new lap, it's a good accomplishment.
Oh, yes, sir, indeed. Good accomplishment. Like you said, only 4 trucks finished on the lead lap this evening. Pretty much because of it being a caution-free race, right? When you have so many pit cycles occur, and that just makes the gap, kind of grow more over the course of the field, and all that type of strategy playing out. Next week, North Wilkesboro, we travel to Troy. That old historic track can be quite a doozy, that moonshine still. So what's the thought and preparation going into Wilkes County?
The preparation will be as I run some laps on there. I haven't ran a lap on there in the trucks. I mean, I've done super late models, late model stocks, street stocks, but I haven't done it in the truck yet. So preparation will be turn some laps there. I'm hoping it'll just be like Myrtle Beach, Iowa, but hopefully not Caution Fest like those two races. But I'm hoping short track will be good, fun racing.
Well, best of luck to you next week, Troy. Any final thoughts, shout-outs, anything you'd like to add? Thanks for talking to us tonight, and congratulations on that podium finish.
Thank you for the congratulations. I'd like to thank you guys for broadcasting this league, BNR Racing Network, Brian and Will announcing for us. I also like to thank my wife, Michelle, my kids, Megan and Sadie, for helping me come on here on Tuesday right after work. Last time get here and hop on. 1-5 Studios, Chris Camara for the paint job, and my teammates, Team Ramrod, Chris and Ron that were in this race this time. And I also like to give one special shout out to my co-worker's son. He watches my races on YouTube, so I'd say shout out to Fisher.
Absolutely. Okay,
Well, Troy, like we said, best of luck to you next week on the North Wilkesboro endeavors, and hopefully we'll be talking to you then.
Hopefully, too. Hopefully, we'll be one spot better, I'm hoping.
only one can hope, sir. Anyway,
Yep,
yeah,
thank you.
no problem. Next up, Mr. Dominant Performance himself. Oh, Will.
Hey guys, what's up?
How's it going?
Hey, what's up? One of my other doppelgangers. So, William, just out of the gate, dominant performance from you. We got to the first round of pit stops, then you just opened up the door ever so slightly more to the rest of the field. Well, I should say you closed the door, to be honest.
Yeah.
4-second gap out of the pits on that opening sequence after you were like, I want to say you were either the first or second truck to come down and pit. Anywho, great strategy, I'd have to say, by just managing your tires the way that you did to where you were able to always maintain that gap. Just really tell us how you did it, Will.
Well, I kind of had like the strategy of kind of going. I don't know. I figured once we started, it'd probably be a little bit quicker pace through the run, and everybody's jumped up. So I kind of figured I could save more later in the race. So I kind of tried to split it really 30-30, and then once I was afforded that lead on the next to last run, I was honestly I was 3/4 throttle on the straightaways, just making sure I was saving enough from there. So yeah, really, I think it was just the difference was getting on and off pit road. I mean, that's where it seemed to make the most time. So once I had the lead, it was pretty easy to kind of manage the fuel.
Right on.
I was pretty much sending it when I was going on the high side on the tires. I was sliding a lot, but it was okay. I was having fun.
And you just couldn't tell it with how good of a line you had. You almost looked like a real, 110% bot out there. Next week, North Wilkesboro, not trying to do what, Will?
Oh,
no, you're good.
I can't believe I didn't hit it one time in 135 laps, but got lucky.
Right, I was expecting you to, as much as you were running up there in the higher line. I was thinking you might get sucked in at some point, but you didn't.
I was getting competitive with myself with the lap times too, so I was.
Yeah, I used to do that at Kansas myself.
Yeah, I was trying to keep it in the 32.3s. So at the end, on the long run, so I think the last 10 laps were pretty good, so it worked out.
But yeah, just big congratulations to you, man, to have such a dominant, dominant performance of the evening, and also go caution free. What did you think about the caution free race?
Hats off to everyone for that. That was awesome. I don't even think I really saw anybody hit anyone. So,
there was contact out there made for sure, but just everybody saved it.
guess I didn't really see anyone until after halfway, but yeah, at least at the end, I was waiting for it like last week at Dover when I had a huge lead and the caution came out at the end. So I was expecting it, so I'm glad it didn't come.
North Wilkesboro next week, though, Will, if you're here next week. What's the thought? Do what, Will?
Oh, I said, oh yeah, that'd be
All right.
that's gonna
Thought
be fun.
process?
Yeah, be tough. I guess the people who can, I think they're just really being able to be consistent and not go too fast, but not go too slow. It's gonna be it'll be tough, but it should be a lot of fun.
Right, indeed. Any final thoughts, shout-outs, anything you'd like to add before we let you go celebrate this win here?
Yeah, definitely. To the other two guys on the podium there, Troy and Ernie. It's a good runs for them, and thanks for everybody who watched. Had fun, and thanks to you guys too for broadcasting everything.
Well, thank you, Will, for talking to us tonight, and best of luck to you next week at North Wilkesboro.
Alrighty, guys. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Well, Brian, pretty terrific, race here tonight at Kansas in the BNR Truck Series. These BNR truckers put on one heck of a show to go caution-free for 135 laps of asking. An actual full-length distance race here at Kansas for the Truck Series. And, wouldn't really want or ask for nothing more or anything better, to be honest, because of the battles we had all throughout the race. There was always a battle occurring. Didn't matter if it was up front, in the middle, or somewhere in the back. There was a battle occurring. Like I said, about past halfway through this race, excellent job. Thank you for everybody, who came out, drove, participated in this race. And also the fans, thank you for coming out, tuning in, cheering on, your favorite BNR Truck Series competitor here in the BNR Truck Series. And until then, next week at North Wilkesboro, where these BNR Truck Series competitors will race again, we would just want, from myself and Brian Hunt, we would just want